Today, I completed my second hour alone vlog challenge. After writing my first and second inquiry posts, I immediately knew that I wanted to do something related to education and others' opinions in regards to education as it occurs in the Netherlands. I also knew that I wanted to challenge myself more than I had in my first vlog. After reflecting upon that experience, I recognized that while I felt comfortable interacting with a Dutch native in a formal context, I would have felt extremely uncomfortable doing so in a context that was, a bit less formal. Therefore, I thought it would be beneficial to challenge myself further, to push myself out of my comfort zone, as this is the only way one truly learns. Ultimately, I decided that for this vlog challenge, I would just kind of stop individuals on the street and inquire their thoughts about Dutch education. I think that this challenge is really important in that I had to interact with those from a different cultural background in a positive manner, and to recognize the value of respecting and understanding others' perspectives. Both of these skills are important when traveling, but also just in everyday life, especially for me as a future teacher. The primary thing that I learned from this challenge is that the Dutch, or at least those that I interviewed, seem to have a generally positive view of their education system, as 4 out of 5 of the individuals that I spoke with expressed that they thought their system was very good. Specifically, almost all of those I interviewed spoke highly of the tracking system, which kind of surprised me. I found one person's explanation to be particularly interesting. The young man explained that he enjoyed being in classes with people of similar capabilities, and he thought that this really helped the teacher cater to student needs, which I honestly think is probably true and was really interesting to hear. From this challenge, I learned more about the world, but I also learned more about myself. Specifically, I came to recognize my tendency to remain agreeable and to avoid speaking my opinion in situations where conflict may arise. This was evident when I discussed the Dutch education system with an older man. I inquired about his thoughts on education in the Netherlands, more specifically, the tracking system. He spoke highly of the education system as a whole and stated that he thought it really worked to keep individuals in their place, where they were supposed to be. This comment bothered me a bit, as I do not entirely believe that the education system should ever seek to do this. I think an education system should really work to empower and support individuals to achieve great things and to really maximize their potential. Therefore, we kind of had a moment of disagreement, yet I avoided speaking about it. I just nodded my head, thanked the man for speaking with me, and kept walking. I didn't even begin to think about speaking my opinion with this man, as I feared generating unnecessary conflict. I think that this was both good and bad. It was good in that, I didn't want to generate conflict with a person that I had just met, especially considering the negative view that many people hold about American tourists and America in general. It was bad, however, in that perhaps both of us could have learned a great deal from engaging a deeper discussion about the topic, and thus benefited more from the interaction. Overall, from this challenge, I have not only learned a bit more about Dutch opinions on education, but I have also learned that I am fully capable of engaging with others who are different from me in a very positive manner. In my future vlog challenge, I hope to be able to do this in a different context and to learn more about a different aspect of culture, like music, art, or something like that. I am very glad that I decided to challenge myself in this vlog, particularly in regards to immersing myself in the culture of the Netherlands and to really attempting to interact with those that live here. This aligns with a number of my goals for the study abroad program, especially my desire to interact with people who hold different interests, values, or perspectives, and to gain a greater acceptance of diversity.